The drama in the LittleBigPlanet community is absolutely crazy. And this is something that I thought I would never say. I didn't know there was a burgeoning community for LittleBigPlanet. This is a game that I think a lot of people play in their childhood. But I just kind of assumed that any sort of like hype or motion surrounding this has kind of waned down. But there's, I guess, some crazy shit going on in the past week or so of this community that just has made it absolutely wild. And the entire like stuff surrounding this starts off with something that is known as LittleBigPlanet Online. Now, a lot of what I've had to do here is, I guess, find a bunch of scattered posts about what everything is going on. And so I'm going to do my best to sort of merge everything back together and just give a little bit of a idea of what's happening and what this is all about before I talk about the drama that is going on here. So this Reddit post right here is like one of the only examples I can find of what LittleBigPlanet Online was going to be, and it is from someone asking about what it is. And from what the comments basically understand is that it's an online custom server that will be on PS4, PS5. The level backup is the key to connecting. A new follow-up LittleBigPlanet Online post will be on Reddit soon with more information. And so I guess this is just like a way for like there to be online interactive collaborative LittleBigPlanet stuff happening, which, you know, seems like a good idea for a community to come together. I maybe the servers for LittleBigPlanet are down or like they're harder to get together. I'm assuming there's something like that because the game is pretty old, and so this looks like a good way for the community to kind of just work together and have sort of like a community hub or a way to interact with each other. But 2 days ago, a post came up saying that the LittleBigPlanet Online is dead. That the server of the guy who was making the entire, I guess, mod or server or code or whatever just deleted the Discord server entirely, and it looks like it was just effectively lost to existence. And I know the big question is, why would someone who's working on this community building project sort of just wipe it off the planet? And this is where the crazy stuff begins. So this post actually came a day before the LittleBigPlanet server, Discord server being dead, and I guess the idea of the LittleBigPlanet Online server idea being dead is about the guy who was making the LittleBigPlanet Online mod server code or whatever, whose name is A. I think his name IEA. I don't really know, but there's some massive drama going on around this guy. Sure, most of you have seen the comments on that one Reddit post talking about the A drama, and yeah, it is true. I've looked to multiple sources, and the rumors about him being the LittleBigPlanet DDoS in 2021 is true. But the problem is, I keep seeing people say that they will play on servers anyway since it isn't hosted by A. Do not play on these servers. LittleBigPlanet Online is hosted by an individual known as Epic on Discord. He's not Epic LittleBigPlanet time, by the way. He's someone else. And there's people defending the LittleBigPlanet Online servers, saying it is fine to play on since it is hosted by Epic. But research I've done, Epic has also done the same things as A, which involves being behind the official server DDoS and also being a bigoted person. If you played it back in the day when the dead creator A's old PlayStation name was still around, you may recognize the name Apples United. It is Epic's old PSN account, and he has confirmed it is himself in the A Discord. And by playing on the LittleBigPlanet Online server, you are supporting both Epic and A. Not only are both Epic and A both behind the 2021 DDoS and also being pretty horrible people, the LittleBigPlanet Online patcher for PS4, PS5 utilizes arbitrary code execution found in LittleBigPlanet to patch the game, which could possibly put your console at risk. So not only are you supporting A and Epic, you could also be possibly putting your console at risk by playing on LittleBigPlanet Online servers. I would like to clarify that I'm only posting this for people's safety and so that they can be informed on who are actually behind LittleBigPlanet Online. And then this is the post of this person's claims. And this post obviously mentions a 2021 DDoS on the LittleBigPlanet servers. And from what I understand, what happened was that these were DDoSes on the LittleBigPlanet servers that were so unbelievably bad that they just took down the servers, and I think they just never put them back up. Because I guess it wasn't worth the time to just have to completely remake the servers and redo those servers for LittleBigPlanet. Maybe they did eventually get put back up, but I think because of the fact that this was like a type of thing that was happening, and that like people were having to create their own like alternate ways that people had to patch their game to be able to play online, I'm going to assume that they never got put back up. And I guess it came out that the reason why this DDoS happened is because this A guy who was making the LittleBigPlanet Online server code thing DDoSed it because like they had like non-binary flags, like pride flags, and he called them like woke or like bad, and that's why he DDoSed these things. Absolutely crazy claims, but there is, I guess, evidence to back this up. So this one right here like kind of connects like the Epic is Apple guy, and he was behind that DDoS, and I'm not gonna go too far into like who's situation because it's gonna be so unbelievably difficult for me to just keep the names in order for a community that I've legitimately almost never interacted with in any capacity until what I've seen today. But basically what this needs to show is like the reason why they DDoSed the Little Big Planet servers. So this kind of shows that, like, you know, there are these right-wing reactionary people saying for the 2020 election, A and Apple were pinning levels to #1 on most Ye's hearts to convince people to vote for Trump or something. I don't know. To me, it seemed like that by that point, people were fucking with the servers for sport, not even out of curiosity. So it looked like here there was like some server manipulation by these two guys, A and Apple, or A and Epic. I'm just going to use A and Epic as their names because it's going to be easier for me to remember. And they were like, I guess, trying to force pro MAGA stuff and pro Trump stuff, I guess, on Little Big Planet servers and levels, which is very interesting. And then, like, a lot of these are just basically connecting this Apple account to this guy named Epic. And I guess this John guy comes back, which I'm assuming this is a trusted person that this person was posting for, and like that this person word holds any type of weight. But basically, they said this means that the admin/dev of Little Big Planet Online is one of the original server attackers, the one who pinged MAGA content and most hearted. They cut out like a part of this part of irrelevant, which I don't really like that they did that. But yeah, there's more stuff. Where this guy Apple is saying, you know, make Trump level, make it most hearted, make it being vote for Trump. Keep on pushing over and over again, talking about pushing for Trump. The dead creator once again is the A guy. I'm pretty certain we remember that. And then this Epic person says, "Are you Apple?" And they say yes. Confirms that there were sort of these two people were pushing for pro-Trump content on the Little Big Planet servers. And we have this John guy once again saying, "Hi, this is John. You can verify it is me because if you ask any of the admin/mods if this is me, and they'll say yes. They all know this is my account. I have joined the server really quick to say that, yes, the rumors are true. A was involved in the 2021 server attacks from March to September. So I guess this kind of proved that they were only for a few months, but they're for a while. He wanted it down because he felt like LGBT people were ruining the game with pride flags, as he believed and still believes that gay people go burn in hell." And this is a quote that I guess this A guy said. He said multiple times to me and her friends that we were all burn in hell just for being gay. It was A who came up to me with the transphobic messages and the MAGA content. He said that if I ever let this information be known to the public, that he will post pic/videos of me on BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, right-wing platforms. So why would I make this up if it puts me at risk? I guess, you know, A was really trying to like hide the fact that he was like trying to push pro MAGA stuff, and that he was one of the most homophobic motherfuckers, I guess, ever. Probably the most homophobic person to ever play Little Big Planet. If he was willing to like dox someone for saying that A is a piece of shit, and also for being willing to DDoS the Little Big Planet servers for legitimately months, I guess, is what we're seeing here. And then here's a video of this A guy thanking this Dylan person for taking down the Little Big Planet servers. So this is a imager video of them playing, I think is like COD or some shit. I really don't know. But this is I guess someone that A thanking someone for DDoSing the servers.
Yeah, you doing that kind of freed me. Like I started playing COD more. Like.
Oh yeah, you weren't on anything
LBP.
but LBP.
Yeah. I was on Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1, but that kind of like just killed it off. But thanks anyways. I never really...
So as you can see right here, A and Dylan in the top left. So this is, I guess, their names. I don't know how the fuck someone got this Discord video unless it was posted or like he was recording it. I really don't know how this was acquired in any way. But I guess this shows that once again, A was thanking the person who actually legitimately DDoSed the servers, and that he was like happy that he was able to, I guess, spend some free time away from the beloved game of Little Big Planet. And then these are videos that you can go to this account and play. I'm not going to play with myself because he just does this like drop racist and homophobic slurs. But this is, I guess, a video of him and some of his friends playing fucking Warzone, which, you know, COD player racist, shocker. And this is where A just like drops slurs and shows that he's a bigger piece of shit and like a really bad dude. And then this like this additional Twitter post kind of shows like this A guy being, or like showing that he is a right-wing person, saying the U.S. is full of stupid people, Democrats/left-wing. If they would leave Trump alone and go on their day, 2020 wouldn't be how it was. China purposely gave its virus in hopes to cripple the U.S. economy and thus paying off a lot of elite Democrats in the process. Many reasons why Bitcoin is rising and USD is losing value. China wants to take over. Very interesting title name. I'm going to censor the word here, but you can guess what it is. Saying, yeah, because all the guys are turning gay and all the women are turning into... another slur, thinking they have rights and they can do a man's job. Very wonderful person we have here, Mr. A. Very good guy. And then someone goes and asks, I guess, A, how is it over in the US? He says, bad, but I bought a gun. I bought extra food and water just in case something happens this week. And so like here we have him being like a turbo massive piece of shit, very right-wing reactionary. And I guess you can kind of see where his reasoning for why he wanted the DDoS the Little Big Planet servers come from. He's kind of just living in his own world of delusion, just kind of not fully there, fully present, fully good at thinking about the right way the world works. And his view of like women, he believes that I guess they're lower than him and like at a fundamental level, which is kind of disgusting. And I feel like this dude is the scum of society who should be spit on and kind of beat with sticks. But like you can see why, or like the thought process that he has that probably led to him DDoSing the Little Big Planet servers, and probably the biggest DDoS the game has ever seen in their entire life. And then another thing about this entire drama is I guess there's a guy named Jonathan Rosa who is the server hacker, and this person I guess lays out I think like 100 to like a 200 post Twitter thread about why this guy's a piece of shit, specifically this one too. They also call him a racist MAGA filth, and also says A's full name. And this person just kind of is ripping out everything. I will say some of the things that the person does is like these tweets right here, just kind of like dramatic reenactments. It seems like this, or like these are like old screenshots. I'm kind of having a hard time telling if these are like legitimately real or not. I can't really tell, but but if these are actually real, it just kind of shows how deep into the depths of hell that the Little Big Planet server hackers are. And I'm obviously not going to go through legitimately every single tweet. That would probably take me 2.5 hours to do. But if you want to give it a little bit of a read, you can look at this person's account and see for yourself. And so like this is an absolutely crazy thing to see. I fell down a rabbit hole of just absolute Little Big Planet insanity. I didn't even know that this was fundamentally possible for this big of a drama to come out of a community. But obviously, you know, this A guy is a turbo piece of shit. His friend Epic is a turbo piece of shit. This Jonathan Rosa guy also a turbo piece of shit. And I think it's just absolutely unbelievable how delusional you are. Like, and I feel like it's just, I was gonna say it should be like a moment of reflection, but if I've seen how this AI thinks and how like he views any sort of minority ever, even though I think he himself is, you know, Latino, very interesting how he holds these views. It is very interesting how this type of hatred can come out of someone who's in a Little Big Planet community. You know, this is, I guess, like, for one, a child's game. So maybe that's why he went turbo off the edge. He's like, I want to get these gays away from my kids, even though, you know, I feel like the way you think is fundamentally worse for a child than saying, you can be gay, it's okay. People can be gay, it's okay. But to go to the extreme of, like, DDoSing a server for, like, 6 months and also threatening doxing people over you potentially getting exposed is just absolutely ludicrous. And I'm assuming that, you know, it's a good thing that the Little Big Planet Online concept of an idea got shut down entirely. I would believe that this dude is not using it for good. He wouldn't be using it for good actions, especially if it was like having arbitrary code that could potentially put your console at risk. And so even though it like kind of puts a massive schism in this community, I'm assuming a massive just shot to the heart of it, I think it's better that a lot of people don't get absolutely terrorized by the potential evil that this guy is. I also do kind of feel bad because like Little Big Planet is a game that I played a lot when I was younger, and it kind of holds a dear place in my heart. I used to go over to my friend's house all the time, and we'd play a bunch of different for fun levels that were made just to, you know, spend time and like, you know, hang out as kids. And to see that like this is something that can happen in this community, and that like a game that holds such like a level of childhood wonder can be filled with someone who is just a fundamental bastion of hate is kind of sad. And this is kind of why I wanted to talk about it. It's just insane to me that there are still people who exist this way. And I hope that, you know, it brings like the actual good members of the Little Big Planet community closer together, because like it is so unfortunate that this happened to a community like this. That's just what happened. Hope I did a good job at explaining this. Maybe members of the Little Big Planet community will see this and like inform more information in the comments, or like wrap up the gaps that I left in this explanation, because once again I don't have the most in-depth knowledge of the community, and I don't really know who like the most of these people are. And so a lot of this was me doing like a little bit of research beforehand and making sure that I have the general idea of like who people are, what happened, and what is oriented, and like what this entire process was. And maybe we can also, if people watch this far, drop cool normal Little Big Planet creator names in the comments to give them their flowers instead of these turbo fucking pieces of shit. That's really all I wanted to say for today. So if you watched this far, thank you for watching. Goodbye.